Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
Keep other women single. And the hoe-to-lady pipeline never works when this happens. She had her fun and then wanted a good black man.
Right now, too many grown women saying, no, hookup culture's okay. Yeah, baby, get what you need to get. They already ruined their lives. Don't let these grown 30, 40, 50-year-old single, bitter, jaded women ruin these young 20-something-year-olds that actually still have a shot. These young 18-year-olds that still have a shot.
That's how I feel.
And that's the problem. There are too many women that are out here ruining the shot for young women because we're not being honest. We're saying, no, baby, you can be sexually liberated. You can go on this sex walks. You can feel good inside of your body and you can do whatever you want. What life do they have that you want? The women that are saying this, they're single and jaded and bitter. The majority. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes, of course there are. There's always an exception to the rule, but we don't speak to the exception. We speak to the majority. And the majority of women are getting used up and recycled by a bunch of different men that are never going to wife them. They don't want to marry the man that is actually good for them because he doesn't look good. And the fact that the 4 6s is what matters the most to a woman in 2026, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The measuring stick is so low.
I just feel like people, yes, what you're saying is true. Understand that that's not what people do.
I ain't gonna tell people we should anything. All I'm saying is if you choose to be a sexually liberated woman, the odds of you marrying, being chosen by a high value, high earning, masculine man is a steep decrease. The more men you've slept with, the odds are even worse. That's just what it is. And that's the bed you made, you get to sleep in it. And some people might say, well, what if I'm changed now? I'm sorry for you, move. And don't ever talk about your past. And if it gets brought up, don't lie, but pray to God it never gets brought up because that is important. And I think that that's the point for me of this podcast.
She thought she had a Russell Wilson and got a man instead.
Just can't take these hoes anywhere.
Can't do all of that yelling. You can't act like a hood rat everywhere. It just does not work like that.
Can you imagine Clay taking Megan to his white, skinny, meek mother and what his mother must have thought about this woman? And then she goes online, this wholesome lady goes online and looks up Meg Thee Stallion and all she sees is ass and WAP and her scissoring Cardi B. No mother in their right mind is gonna want their son to settle down with Meg Thee Stallion.
I think instead of these women being like, oh, why did this happen? They should be like, Megan, why are you selling us lies? Why are you lying to us and telling us that we can get these things and that you're a certain type of way, but you're over here trying to be a wife, but you're telling us to prostitute ourselves and you're telling us to be promiscuous and to be hot girls and hotties, and then you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Same thing with Lotto. You're telling these women that you're going to go get abortions and that you're going to kill your baby and that you're single with no kids and you make this whole brand off of this, but then you become a baby mommy. Same thing with Cardi B, you know?
You know what it shows in the ultimate self-betrayal that these women have not only done to themselves, but to other women. It shows that deep down, it doesn't matter how much of a loud, boisterous, feminist woman that you claim to be. At the end of the day, you want a man.
I believe Klay Thompson was attempting to humble Megan Thee Stallion for all the songs and all the interviews she made sounding like this.
Guys, they not used to women, thinking independently, and they're not used to women being like, you know what, all this, I can leave. That's just the type of girl I am. That's the type of woman I am. I'm not finna get myself into nothing that I can't easily get up and walk away from. Like when I came here, I was Megan Thee Stallion. They love their son.
I believe he fell victim to a miscalculation. He thought he could take a strong, independent woman who was in love with him and turn her into the kind of woman who would stay with a known cheater. He wanted to take down a stallion and mount her head on top of a fireplace mantle like a trophy. They love to get a woman who's known for her reputation of not putting up with any nonsense from men to get her to put up with their nonsense. They want to publicly show everybody that they're the exception to your rule, like when Cardi said this.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
And Offset couldn't wait to show us this.
You need to stop lying on your phone, man. She be lying. She clean. She got it clean.
If you are a strong, independent woman, you have a target on your back. They are coming after you to humble you and to make you change your mind about what you said you would and wouldn't do. They want the ego stroke of getting the strong, independent woman to not be strong and independent when it comes to them. They want to say, yeah, I know she was saying all that, but that's before she met me.
Fire for your mind. Consultation.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Asking fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the 13 that are watching, guys. And do me a favor, guys. Share the stream, please. Share the stream, please, as we're about to get into it on this Friday afternoon. Not going to be before you guys long. I got things to do. But I did want to talk about this topic because this topic is important. And I got a short, guys. A short got almost 90,000 views. And it's a topic. It was a short that went trending, actually went viral. It still is going viral. And you can help me by sharing the short. But the premise of the conversation is that she had her fun, and after she had her fun, she wanted a good man. I've been saying this for years because there's a price to pay for low living. There's a price to pay for low living. And anytime men try to set any standards as it relates to masculinity, the essence or the talking points are always that men do it too. But we know that there are double standards, and there are double standards for both sexes. There are things that women can get away with, and there are things that men can get away with. But men that take a woman serious to be his wife, she can't be a 304. Masculine men and men in general, whether you have value or where you average earning, don't want a woman that's been bounced upon like a trampoline. And women, you can keep deluding yourself and lying to yourself and using dumb talking points like men have been ran through, not understanding that a man can't be ran through unless he's gay. Men can't be ran through. Men are hammers. And the woman is the nail. The hammer, how can the hammer be ran through where it's doing the hammering? And so many say this in an attempt to rationalize their ego because they know in reality, and they know when they lay down and lay their heads on a pillow at night, that what men are saying is true. One of the biggest indictments of modern dating and relationships, and I see it all the time in therapy, is that the world has forgotten to ask men what they want. They just assume that, you can be adventurous, give your body to multiple men, and after you give your body to multiple men, you think you can come back at the end of the day and hit a 3-point shot at the buzzer, and then use Jesus as an example and a scapegoat to get a high value man or an average man. Because I don't believe that only high value men should be able to get a good woman. A man's worth is not necessarily 100% tied to finances. And before we go any further, shout out to my man John Smith for that $5 super chat, super sticker. Shout out to John Smith. Thank you, brother John Smith. He's been doing a good job supporting male content, and I really appreciate you showing love. But one of the things that men have forgotten, the world has forgotten, is that your granddaddy and your great-granddaddy had standards. The gold standard 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 years ago was wife ready, no children, virgin, and sexual exclusivity. That was the social contract. I've talked about this several times. But see what Meg the Stallion got, she thought she was going to go from the Hold the Clay pipeline and get her a Russell Wilson. And the reason why I got Sierra up here, because Meg the Stallion thought she was going to get her a Russell Wilson. She thought she was going to get her a sucker because she thought that Clay was a square. And she thought that she was going to get a sucker, somebody she can retire upon, and use him as a simp. And a lot of them do that after they have their fun.
By women.
After they have their fun, they want to use a quality man as a sucker and a simp. And so she's crying. She's up there crying, and Clay is saying, "What you mean?" Clay is looking at her like, "What you mean?" Because Megan thought she was going to have all the fun she wanted. Sierra got mad. She thought she was going to have a Megan to Sierra moment. And she got shocked and she got deceived because it never happened. And let me tell you, men, something. The more you know what your worth is, and the more you realize that you need to give your power to good women. Good women are not perfect, but you should give your power and your resources and your attention to wholesome women. And let me clarify that, because you only give your power to God, but you should give your resources and your time and your money to wholesome women, because Meg Thee Stallion is a woman that personified 304 behavior, whore behavior and whore culture, and then all of a sudden she assumed that she was going to get a Russell Wilson, and many of these 304s out here thought that she was going to get a Clay, a Holder Clay situation where she got a Clay, a Russell Wilson, and when it didn't happen, the parasocial parasites, they got upset. They went on the internet and started telling women to cheat on their boyfriends. But let me tell you something. If a man asks you about your past and you lie to that man, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Because a lot of women lie to their men about their past. Just like a woman is going to judge a man on his future, because most women will tolerate a man that makes a certain amount of money, but she don't want him to remain there. So just like a woman will judge a man about his future, you got a right to judge her about her past, because you need to ask yourself the question, can I make this woman my wife? Can she be the mother of my kids? Can I feel proud when I go out? Or can I be in disgust? Because I know a lot of men had my woman before me. And folks get mad and talk about a double standard. Yes, it's a double standard. There are things that women can do, and there are things that men can't do. And I'm going to prove my point in a minute about double standards, because some of it is tied to evolutionary psychology. It's just how men are wired. Men are just wired that way. But she thought she was going to have a Hold the Clay pipeline moment, and she thought she was going to have her fun and march down the aisle with a white dress on. And what they don't understand is that men are waking up. We know the games, and the Hold the Clay pipeline is dead. And some of these bird brains are all on the internet, saying that, she made clay. How can you make a man that make $300,000? How can you make a man that had 3 NBA championships? Klay Thompson didn't eat Meg Thee Stallion, and I'm gonna prove it to you in a minute. But no man wants to be the last one to be on the receiving end of a bad deal. And that's why these conversations are so important, because the internet have exposed a lot of modern women for what they are and is. Some of you men got women that you thought were wholesome, and you were lied to as well. You got tricked into a relationship. You got tricked into a marriage. You thought you had a wholesome woman, and you went to the football game and all the brothers were laughing at you because you didn't get a wholesome woman. You got a Hold the Clay pipeline type of chick. And the lady in the video that went viral said, and she's correct, she said that if that man don't ask, but she understands that in a healthy relationship, a man has a right to ask. If you're gonna be in a relationship, you got a right to know about a person's past to see if they qualify to be in your life. Just like a woman has a right to know about a man's past, and also she has a right to know about a man's future income. That's her right, because she needs to know if you can provide for her and if you can have a stable home and a stable environment. Women always judge a man for his past. And just like a woman judges a man for his past, a man got a right to judge a woman for her future. A man has a right to do that. But she thought she was going to pull a fast one on Klay Thompson, and it didn't work. She thought she was going to get another square and another sucker, because all the other men had their fun with it. They were bouncing on her like a trampoline, and she's caused a lot of distress. She's taught women that it's okay to be a 304, to have negative behavior. And now all of a sudden, she's realizing that the type of men that she wants, she's not going to ever get. And if she's not careful, she's going to be another Halle Berry. Old and thought it up and ran through. And I don't feel sorry for her, because allegedly, I don't know how true it is, it was reported that she told this man that he had to give her $700, a $700,000 allowance, I guess a month. So what man in his right mind gonna pay $700,000 to a 304. It doesn't even make any sense. But see, this is what the internet has done. The internet has caused a generation of women to think they're better than what they really are. And as a licensed therapist, I call it magical thinking. And magical thinking produces what's called parasocial parasites. They leech off the women in the entertainment industry. They leech off the famous celebrities, and they suck the internet blood from those women or that woman or that man to feed into their delusion, which is called magical thinking. And magical thinking is a byproduct of being delusional. And I'm going to get into it. But do me a favor, guys. Share this stream because we're going to have a good one on tonight.
And keep other women single. And the hoe to lady pipeline never works when this happens. She had her fun and then wanted a good black man.
Right now, too many grown women saying, no, hookup culture's okay. Yeah, baby, get what you need to get. They already ruined their lives. Don't let these grown 30, 40, 50-year-old single, bitter, jaded women ruin these young 20-something-year-olds that actually still have a shot. These young 18-year-olds that still have a shot.
And they believe the good lies. And let me tell you something, guys. Most of the older women, they're finished. If we're going to have any kind of revolution, we need to get the younger women right. Start planning to help these younger girls, 18 to 24, and try to put them in the right direction and put them with good young men and start a whole generation over. But the older ones are done for, the majority of them. The 30s on up, they're done for. And the older they get, the more hard-headed they get. You can't tell them anything. They're more set in their ways. And once you get a certain age as a man, you ain't got time to be arguing with no woman. The only thing you're going to do is move on to higher ground and do what's best for you and do what's best for your sanity. Because as you get older, your peace is more important than anything. And the responses of the men on this video is paramount. This video got almost 90,000 views and still growing. Because what it did, it proved my talking point that men are hardwired not to have the thought of multiple men being with their future wife, because fornication is basically cheating on your future, men and women. And adultery is cheating on your present. And they struggle because this woman is saying what so many men have said. And of course, she's a offshoot of Kevin Samuels, some of his talking points. What she's saying is true.
That's how I feel.
And that's the problem. There are too many women that are out here ruining the shop for young women because we're not being honest. We're saying, no, baby, you can be sexually liberated. You can go on this sex walks. You can feel good inside of your body and you can do whatever you want. What life do they have that you want? The women that are saying this, they're single and jaded and bitter.
And she's right. They're single, jaded, and bitter. And that's what happened to Meg Stallion when she was up on the stage. And I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute. Because, see, liberalism told black women and white women that they can have all the fun they want, and they can, and then they can come back after they've been thoroughly ran through and get a quality man. And it doesn't work that way. Masculine men ain't going to put up with that nonsense. They ain't going to take you serious with no wife. They'll play with you, but they ain't going to take you serious. Because if you don't have discipline over your body, how could that man trust you once you say, I do? It's no different than a man. If a man doesn't have discipline over his money, a woman's going to take advantage of him. And I don't feel sorry for a man, and you should not feel sorry for a man that doesn't have discipline over his money and give his power away, which is his assets, to a woman that does not honor and respect him as a man. Because, see, women like Meg Thee Stallion keep trying to sell men social market value. Her money, her looks, how much money she got, and men don't care about that. I've said that for years. What men care about, are you feminine? Are you kind? Do you have a low body count to virgin? Do you work out? Do you have emotional regulation? That's what men care about. Do you have emotional intelligence? Do you know how to speak life into a man? Are you cooperative? Are you willing to self-reflect? Are you willing to say, I'm sorry? And most, I would argue about 80 to 85% are not going to do it. So she thought she was going to hit a shot at the buzzer. She thought she was gonna go from the Holy Jesus pipeline, the Holy Clay pipeline, and she thought she was gonna charge Clay Thompson the whole tax, and it never happened. But you got these bird brains saying that she leveled up a multimillionaire that makes way more money than she makes, 3 times the amount that she makes, and he's 6'7", and he's a 4-time NBA champ. And she highlighted Clay Thompson's gonna get other women. Make it make sense.
The majority. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes, of course there are. There's always an exception to the rule, but we don't speak to the exception. We speak to the majority. And the majority of women are getting used up and recycled by a bunch of different men that are never going to wife them. They don't want to marry the man that is actually good for them because he doesn't look good. And the fact that the 4 6s is what matters the most to a woman in 2026, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The measuring stick is so low.
I just feel like people, yes, what you're saying is true. Understand that that's not what people do.
I ain't gonna tell people we should anything. All I'm saying is if you choose to be a sexually liberated woman, the odds of you marrying, being chosen by a high value, high earning, masculine man is a steep decrease. The more men you've slept with, the odds are even worse. That's just what it is. And that's the bed you made, you get to sleep in it. And some people might say, well, what if I'm changed now? I'm sorry for you, move. And don't ever talk about your past. And if it gets brought up, don't lie, but pray to God it never gets brought up because that is important.
Shout out to my man, the International Quiet Storm. Shout out to my brother. He said that you have to do your homework on women. Megan is nothing but an industry bust down. Yes, she is. She lied and got a man locked up. Clay can find another version of her, but she ain't gonna never find another version of Clay Thompson. I totally agree with you, Quiet Storm. She thought she was gonna go from the Hold the Clay pipeline because she said Clay was a good guy, and she never dealt with a man like Clay before. She thought Clay was gonna be a square. She thought Clay was gonna be another Russell Wilson. She thought she was gonna have a Sierra prayer moment. Shout out to my man, brother Ray Johnson, always showing love in the house. Shout out to Ray Johnson. For that $15 cash app, as he is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to my brother Ray Johnson, always showing love. I'm gonna have to get out to the West Coast and show my man some love at some point. Good brother, got number love for him. Shout out to brother Ray Johnson for that $15 cash app. Shout out to him.
It's the money.
Shout out to brother Ray Johnson, and also shout out to brother Quiet Storm for showing love. But yeah, they never get it, Quiet Storm. She's nothing but an industry bust down. And you know, y'all hype this video up and hype that short that I sent. That short got almost 90,000 views on it. I reorchestrated it and added the effects to it. And her talking points range true, guys, because she's basically saying what men have been saying, and she's saying what others have said for a long time. You can't expect to have a relationship on your terms. Just like women don't want to deal with a man that's been with men before, a man don't want a woman that's been ran through. And the sooner women understand that, the better they're going to be. It's okay. You're going to have to deal with the consequence because masculine men are not going to take you serious if you've been ran through. You can talk about men, do it all you want to. You don't get to determine and set the template when it comes down to men deciding to make you his wife, because the gold standard years ago was that women valued themselves. And when women value themselves, most men tended to value them. Were there some good women that got played? Yes, just like there are good men that get played. But you cannot not value yourself and then expect a man to treat you as special. It doesn't work that way. Men are irrational beings. We're very calculated. And we do what's called a cost-benefit analysis. And so now Megan is having mental illness-like issues, because she, like so many, believed the lie that they could, be 304s and dotted up and violate God's law. And then after they have all their fun, they're supposed to come and be seen as special and have a wife. masculine men with money is not going to take you serious, sweetie. And I'm going to prove it to you guys from the comments that these men have said, because there's been nothing but men up here mostly conversate. I don't see no women up here. All the men, all the men have been responding. And now with the UFO talking, I mean the news talking about aliens. It might take a whole apocalypse for some of these women to get it together, but I don't expect them to get, most to get it together in this lifetime. I believe it's only about 10 to 20% of women that are solid and good women, and they understand it. But most, if you look at the comments, will say to the contrary. And so if you look at what the men are saying, all the men are saying that the same thing, unequivocal. Men are waking up. The internet has allowed men to waking up and operate in the right of self-determination, and the world don't like it because many women have what's called the dual mating strategy. They have fun with the bad boys and they settle for the lesser than guy once they had all their fun. And a lot of men are waking up, and many they just don't like it fundamentally. Shout out to Highway Skinny. Yeah.
And I think that that's the point for me of this podcast.
She thought she had a Russell Wilson and got a man instead.
Just can't take these hoes anywhere.
Imagine you got a wife and a girlfriend acting ignorant like Meg Thee Stallion. Acting ignorant. Not ignorant, but ignorant like Meg Thee Stallion. Loud, obnoxious, and ran through. But yet you get upset and get mad because men say they don't want to take you serious for a wife or for a long-term situation. Men, you have a right to ask a woman about her past. Don't let nobody deceive you in that. If you're going to take a woman serious to be your wife, you need to ask her about her past. And understand most of them going to lie about it. So what you have to do is make her take a lie detector test. Make her take a comprehensive polygrapher. You pay for one, make her pay for one, if she's serious about the relationship. Because most going to lie. No man in his right mind want a woman that's giving her virtue to a bunch of men. And until women understand that, you can get mad. You don't get to decide what men want. No more than men get to decide what you want as a woman.
You can't do all of that yelling. You can't act like a hood rat everywhere. It just does not work like that.
Can you imagine Clay taking Megan to his white, skinny, like, meek mother, and like what his mother must have thought about this woman, and then she goes online, like this wholesome lady goes online and like looks up Meg Thee Stallion, and all she sees is ass and WAP and her scissoring Cardi B. No mother in their right mind is.
What woman in her right mind, what mother-in-law in her right mind want to associate her son with a woman that act like Meg Thee Stallion, a woman that's told women that it's okay to be liberated sexually, and that they can still get a quality man at the end of the day. And instead of get it becoming better and auto-correcting, they double down on their debauchery because they don't want to change.
Gonna want their son to settle down with Meg Thee Stallion.
I think instead of these women being like, oh, why did this happen? They should be like, Megan, why are you selling us lies? Why are you lying to us and telling us that we can get these things and that you're a certain type of way?
Exactly. They love the good lies. You know, what I've learned about YouTube, if you come on YouTube and lie and pander and demonize men and demonize wholesome women, wholesome good black women, if you do that, then you'll get plenty of likes and views. But if you tell the truth and be objective, then you don't get anything. You get minimized, or you may even get suppressed.
But you're over here trying to be a wife, but you're telling us to prostitute ourselves, and you're telling us to be promiscuous and to be hot girls and hotties, and then you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Same thing with wives.
But you're too late to cook dinners now, ma'am. You know, like I always say in the past, you know, that your soul might be saved, but your box is sinner. You had a lot of men that had their way with you, Meg Thee Stallion. And no self-serving, righteous, masculine man, unless he got low self-esteem, is going to take you serious for a wife. He's just not going to. And so you have to get over it and understand that you make bad choices, and that you can't do what men do. There are things that men can do that you can do that you can't do, and there are things that you can do that men can't do. And I'm gonna show you guys in a minute that double standards exist for a reason. There are things that women can do that men just can't do. Men cannot sleep with men, but there's a large percentage of women that have slept with other women. A woman will get a pass for that for the most part, but men can't. Men are stigmatized for putting their hands on women, but women always put their hand on men. And I'm gonna show it to you guys in a minute how double standards exist. I'm gonna show it to you after I finish playing this clip.
You're telling these women that you're going to go get abortions and that you're going to kill your baby and that you're single with no kids and you make this whole brand off of this, but then you become a baby mommy. Same thing with Cardi B, you know?
And you know, it's good. It's refreshing to see women like this that get it. They'll call these women pick-me's and mammies to shame them out of common sense. But there was a time that black women personified excellence. There was a time that black women didn't do the debaucheries that you are seeing now. There was a time where black women were the greatest women ever. They were the greatest women ever in the past.
Fall comes to us and it's on time. Fighters keepers, losers we.
You know what it shows in the ultimate self-betrayal that these women have not only done to themselves but to other women. It shows that deep down, it doesn't matter how much of a loud, boisterous, feminist woman that you claim to be. At the end of the day, you want a man.
Shout out to my man Revelator, Spirit of Indifference, for that $5 cash up. Thank you, brother Revelator. Thank you, sir, for your kindness. I appreciate it, sir. And you're right. Every woman at the end of the day want a man. She want a good quality man. She want a man to lay down her burdens. You know, I did a good show last week with Maggie, the substitute teacher, and Luke Hazley. And it's problematic when a woman is in the latter part of her years. She's older and she doesn't have a husband. And Meg Thee Stallion is going to lead a lot of these women astray because a lot of these women are parasocial parasites. They have believed the lie of the Meg Thee Stallions of the world, and now they're beginning to suffer the recompense because they're realizing that social media can be good, but social media can be bad. And what Meg is telling women to do is not rational because it's going to sabotage them long term.
I believe Klay Thompson was attempting to humble Megan Thee Stallion for all the songs and all the interviews she made sounding like this.
Guys, they're not used to women, you know, thinking independently, and they're not used to women being like.
And anytime a woman said thinking independently, that woman's not ready for a relationship, because a woman is supposed to be interdependent with her man, not independent from her man. She's supposed to be interdependent. And if you have an independent mindset without learning how to be interdependent, it's okay to be self-sufficient until you get in a relationship with your husband. But no man want a woman that's with him where she's thinking independent instead of thinking unification and building as a team. But a lot of modern women think like Meg Thee Stallion, and they erroneously thought that Meg Thee Stallion built Klay Thompson, which is hilarious.
You know what? All this, I can leave. That's just the type of girl I am. That's the type of woman I am. I'm not gonna get myself into nothing that I can't easily get up and walk away.
And that right there tells you guys that Meg Thee Stallion has what's called an anxious avoidant attachment. She got one foot in, one foot out. She's a woman that's not healed. She's a woman that's been broken and used and abused by multiple men. And maybe she did want a good relationship with Klay after all. But Meg Thee Stallion thought she was gonna get her a Russell Wilson. She thought she was gonna get a Russell Wilson. She thought she was gonna get a Hold the Klay situation. and it backfired. I would have never look at a woman like Meg Thee Stallion to be my wife. I mean, you already have seen 9 confirmed men. It ain't no telling how many more she's been with. It's no telling how many women she's been with. And what man in his right mind want that for his wife? And these women just don't get it. They don't understand it. And many just don't care. You can't have the fun of a 304 and expect a man to put a ring on your finger and see you as something special. Because white dresses were reserved for virgins. But Meg Thee Stallion got on a white dress and all them names, all those scarlet letters on her dress, thinking that she deserves to be treated special. It doesn't work that way. Not for serious-minded men, unless that man sees something in you and he can look past your past. But most men can't. And I'm going to prove it to you guys in a minute.
From like when I came here, I was Megan Thee Stallion. When I leave here, I'm gonna be Megan Thee Stallion. I'm good either way it goes.
That's an anxious avoided attachment, guys. Meg Thee Stallion is emotionally unavailable. She's broken. And you're going to see where she was crying on stage because she was thinking about Clay Thompson. And that's what liberalism told women. Women were never designed to give their bodies to multiple men. Is it their right to sleep around? Yes. It's your right to sleep with as many men as you want. You can sleep with 1 million men. That's your right. But you don't have the right to think after you gave your body away to a bunch of men that you deserve a quality man that's going to see you as special and see you as his wife. Because men are not wired to have the thought of multiple men bouncing up and down on their wife. Men are not wired that way. Just like women are not wired to have the thought of another man entering her man. It's called the penetration principle. Men don't like penetrated women and women don't like penetrated men.
He saw exactly how deeply she was falling in love with him, and she was posting things like this.
I'm really finna cook for my man and his whole family. I hope they love this because I got to show them that I really love their son.
I believe he fell victim to a miscalculation. He thought he could take a strong, independent woman who was in love with him and turn her into the kind of woman who would stay with a known cheater. He wanted to take that.
Right, Pookie Ray Ray show. She thought she was going to mold Clay. You're 100% correct. She thought she was going to get a Clay, a Megan to Clay pipeline. She thought she was going to get another Russell Wilson. She saw him as a good guy, quote unquote, after she had been ran through by the bad guys. And she thought that she was going to settle with Russell Wilson. And let me tell you something, guys, never be that guy. Never be the last guy to give her flowers and treat her special after she's given her virtue to a bunch of men. That's one of the most disrespectful things to a man, especially if he's a serious man about his business and he wants a woman to be his wife.
Down a stallion and mount her head on the top of a fireplace mantle like a trophy. They love to get a woman who's known for her reputation of not putting up with any nonsense from men to get her to put up with their nonsense. They want to publicly show everybody that they're the exception to your rule, like when Cardi said this.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
And Offset couldn't wait to show us this.
No, he wasn't trying to break her. I think that the things that women tell men that they're not doing, they're actually doing it. You got to perform to keep a quality man. The higher, the more money a man makes and the more power he got, the more options he got. And because so many women there only want a small percentage of men, most men are invisible to women. If you're tall like me, highly educated, 6 figures, you can have your choices pick of women. But I always have told my wife that if I was a single man again, which I wouldn't be looking to get married again, I wouldn't deal with the typical American woman. It would take a special American woman to be my wife. Number one, she would have to be a godly woman. She can't be ran through. Emotional intelligence, emotional regulation. And I ain't got time to deal with a woman with a bunch of trauma. Not for my wife, I don't. I'm sorry. I can't treat you special if I know you got a sordid past. I just can't. My brain would not allow me to do it. I can't treat you special. You might be a decent person, but I can't treat you special if you got a lot of baggage.
You need to stop lying on your phone, man. She be lying. She clean. She got to clean.
If you are a strong, independent woman, you have a target on your back. They are coming after you to humble you and to make you change your mind about what you said you would and wouldn't do. They want the ego stroke of getting the strong, independent woman to not be strong and independent when it comes.
And keep listening to emotionally vulnerable women like her. You're going to be single for the rest of your life. A woman like this is emotionally broken and emotionally vulnerable. And women like her keep other women single because they are damaged and they are broken women themselves. They are damaged and broken women themselves, and they keep other women damaged and broken and not getting the outcomes they deserve because they listen to bird brain women like her. But I'm going to show you guys, as I said before in the past, and make sure you guys donate to the channel, that masculine men are not wired to accept women like Meg the Stallion.
To them. They want to say, yeah, I know she was saying all that, but that's before she met me.
All right, so let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you men something, you gentlemen something. Let me show you guys something about how men think in dating and relationships. I want you men to look at the comments. This video or this short got almost 100,000 views. One of my better shorts of the year. Now let's look at the comments, guys. Make sure y'all go like and y'all look at that short. Make sure you hype it. Make sure you like it. Let's get this short to 100,000 views or more. Let's get it to 1 million. Because the more views I get, the more subs I get. And hopefully it turns to long-term subscribers or healthy subscribers. But let's look at some of the comments. And this is mostly coming from men. So I asked the question, are older damaged women sabotaging younger women? Look at the responses. Yes, but my old job was telling my sister to just have a baby with no husband. Thank God she didn't listen, and now she's happily married. Do you guys see where I'm going at? Misery loves company. A lot of these women are damaged, they're selfish, and they have insecure attachment. Their attachment is not secure. And they have to hurt other women and sabotage some of these young women because they make horrible mistakes themselves. And what they don't understand is you get older, your chances of finding a quality man diminishes. Some of these women had opportunity to get deep, good, solid men, but they saw them as lames and boring. They certainly aren't helping. That's what one person said. This person said, absolutely. Most of them messed up their own lives. They don't want the younger generation to be happy with a good man. Yes. They want younger ones to grow up being just as miserable as they are. 100%. Yes, they're covering up their mistakes by trying to validate it and bring other women to the abyss of broken lifestyles. Some doors can stay closed. You just don't have to try everything. And I understand what Sarah Fontenot was saying. She was saying that hopefully they don't ask. But basically what she's saying, if a man asks, you have to tell that man the truth. You can't lie on a resume and then get mad when you get fired. If you're not a 304, you can't take it personal. But most are 304s. That's why they get mad when men talk about it. Look at this man, Damian Cross. I see it all the time at work, all the time. He said it's been trending. And as you guys can see, speaking the truth, no lies detected. And this person says, not just a high value man, it's to any man. Y'all took to social media and let us know we're seeing and learning. Men are learning. And that was, I mean, guys, it's almost like shrinkflation. And back in the past, you got a whole lot more for less. You had a gallon of ice cream, 2 gallons, you had a half a gallon of ice cream, and you paid probably about $3 for it. They're demanding more and giving you less. But they get mad at me. Thank you. Being ran through is not a flex, more of a burden. I absolutely agree. Unfortunately, not enough mature women are honest with themselves, and others, when they have regrets and truth, could help other women avoid the same mistakes. Pray that the past don't get balled up. Well, that's a prayer that's going to go unanswered. And that proved my point. Men are going to ask. And we know y'all going to lie. The majority of you going to lie. So guess what? You're going to take a lie detector test. You're going to take a comprehensive lie detector test. We're going to take 3. Because if you think you're going to be my wife and you got a bunch of skeletons in your closet, it ain't going to happen. And sadly, some of you men have already married a bunch of chicks that have been ran through. Some of you men will be surprised. The girlfriends and the wives y'all got. Finally, a woman that tells the truth and keep it real. So as you guys are seeing, men responded big. This video got about 90,000 views and still growing. Make sure y'all go watch it and hit the like button. And so all the men are saying the same thing. We don't want no ran through women. Now, women always say it's a double standard. So let me show you guys this one. Because this fruit went and said black men were a cancer. I got a show tomorrow, guys. It's gonna be a good show with Obsidian and A Peaceful Life. And we're gonna have a classic tomorrow. And make sure, guys, once again, y'all hit that like button and hit the super chat. But this man was trying to say that black men are the cancer of the black community. This fruit, he ain't a fruit. He's a fruit. I mean, how can a fruit tell a man how to be a vegetable? He's a whole fruit. He's not even a fruit. He's a fruit. But he's trying to tell a man how to be a masculine man.
Gay black man turned straight after white woman said this.
I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna say it out loud with my whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
Are women more privileged than men? Yes, they are, and it's not even close. Women are loved.
Now look at the double standard. We talking about double standards, though. We like Alec Alvin said, we talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. That's what Allen Iverson said. He said, man, we talking about practice. But you're talking about which one has a double standard. We know who the greatest the double standard is. Ran through women is just one for men, but women have way more double standards than men. Men cannot be with other men and get a pass. A woman is not going to be with him. I've known women themselves that were lesbians that said they can't be with a man that's been with another man. But somehow you're supposed to be entered by multiple men. That man supposed to take you serious for his wife.
Just for existing, they get attention, compliments, protection, free drinks, doors opened for them, etc. And a man.
And these are women exposing them, which makes it even more powerful.
He's invisible until he proves that he can provide, protect, perform, pay, or add value. In other words, earn your spot or disappear. Guess what? A woman can also decide if you become a dad or not. You get zero say. She's pregnant, her body.
Shout out to my man from Kenya, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see a brother all the way from Kenya, man. That means the world to me that you like my channel and that you are supporting my channel, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to Cliff Gadget Guy, big supporter of your channel from Kenya. Your talking points inspire me to have an abundance mindset. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that, brother. Make sure you share the channel, man. I'm honored, man. I'm extremely honored, young brother, young or old or middle age. That you really like the channel and that's inspiring you. Listen, man, as a licensed therapist, I want men to have the best. I want men to get with good women, but more or less, I want men to have the right to self-determination. So thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir, for those kind words, and thank you for the super chat.
Her choice, my dudes. End of story. Do you want the kid? Doesn't matter. Don't want it? Doesn't matter. 18 years of child support slammed on you without consent, and worse, she cheats. She claims the kid is yours. You raise it for years and discover that it's not yours later. Court, in many places.
All the double standards, no fault divorce, paternity fraud, false allegations. You got more down low women than men. They are the initiators of domestic violence, but always play the victim. Where those women got deleted 2 weeks ago, my heart goes out to those women. But they're trying to paint a false narrative that black men were complicit in femicide. Then this fruit comes along, and fruit enforcers come along and try to tell men to do better without demanding anything from women. Men don't have to concede to women's whims. Woman was made for man. Man wasn't made for woman. Just like God was made, man was made for God. And so if you're a man, you don't have to concede to no woman. You don't have to provide, protect, or build for rebellious women that are defiant and women that are promiscuous and giving their bodies to multiple men. My masculinity is not contingent upon skin color alone. My masculinity is too expensive. I'm not giving my time, resources, talents, or energy all just for a community. If the community expects something from me, the community's gonna give me something in return. Because anytime you have a servant leader situation, you got to also have disciples. Jesus, when he was washing his disciples' feet, was trying to be a servant leader, but he's also was expecting them to be disciplined and to preach the gospel. But see, in America, they expect black men to that were invisible, men that they don't respect, to just build and come back and save brokenness after they messed it up. No, you got to earn your way into a black man's life. Because if men get their masculinity away for free, then it becomes cheap.
Still force you to pay until 18 years of age. So you're screwed. One day, she wakes up unhappy, files for divorce, no proof needed, and walks with primary custody most of the time, years of child support, and many times a lifetime of alimony plus half of your assets. Oh, and she isn't required to show you that the money is actually helping your kid. It all goes to her. She can also falsely accuse you with zero consequences. She can claim assault, abuse, rape, online to the police and in court. And if it's proven a total lie, she gets a little slap on the wrist. But you lose your job, your reputation, your sanity, and you can spend years in prison, even if you're innocent.
And let me tell you something, guys. I have seen that in my private practice. I got a client right now that's going to do that. False allegations, character assassination. Can't see his boys. but you talking about double standards. These women, they're delusional, man. That parasocial parasite has got a lot of women suffering from magical thinking. I call them parasocial parasites. They all feed off one another. And they all feed into what's called magical thinking, meaning that I have the power to create realities outside of myself that's not tied to the real world. That's called magical thinking in the clinical world. It's normally associated with delusional personality disorder.
The system shields her more than the truth. Men are disposable, not women. Draft registration, men only. Most workplace deaths, men. Most homeless, men. Suicide rate 4 times higher, men. The double standards never end.
Never
Man
ends.
hits a woman, monster.
Yes.
Jail.
Yes.
Woman hits a man.
Yes.
What did you do to her?
Yes.
Man cheats?
Yes.
You're trash.
Yes.
Woman cheats?
Yes.
She was just unhappy. He
Right.
failed.
Right.
The bottom line is women get safety nets, sympathy, legal advantages, social worship, and endless help. Men don't. That is just the truth. Pretending that we're both equal is gaslighting half of the population. So wake up.
Now I'm gonna prove something to you guys. Watch this. I'm going to prove my point. But before I prove my point, I'm going to share a more salient talking point from Dr. Ryan Terabin, another professional like myself, because nobody wants to be this guy. Nobody wants to end up being this guy right here.
Watch.
No man wants to be this guy right here. No man wants to be that guy, the last one in line. No man wants to be, don't be this guy. That's the most embarrassing thing that can happen to a man, is to get with a woman that's had a whole lineup and you're the last sucker talking about making her feel special and putting a ring on her finger. Once again, the social contract years ago was virgin, wife ready, no kids. That was the social contract. Women like that deserve to be treated special. But you got a lot of chicks now, or women with low bodies too. But you got and they got emotional intelligence. But you got a lot of chicks now. Got all these men they've been with. It ain't even men. It's men's with a Z. It's so messed up. You can't even say men's. Men. You got to add a Z to it. Men's. And she thought she was gonna get her a Klay Thompson. She thought she was gonna get a hold the Clay pipeline situation. But Klay Thompson, Tory Lanez, Luke Lukaku, the baby, Burna Boy. I don't know who these people are. G-Eazy. And so imagine you get with a woman, guys, like Brittany Renner has been with over 30 men, and they all line up on the outside waiting their turn. That's how you need to imagine it in your head. A long line of men waiting for their turn. And some women got mad. Whoever created this video, some women got upset. They were fired. They were livid, man. But see, that's what happens when reality hits the road. When you finally come to a reality of understanding that being a 304 doesn't get you romance, and being a 304 doesn't get you long-term relationships from serious masculine men, not simps, because a simp will marry a 304 in a heartbeat. But I'm talking about masculine men that have standards, unless you were tricked into a relationship. Because we know that a lot of women lie and they would trick a man into a relationship. And then they'll play the victim or, act, scared. But you don't want to be this guy. You don't want to be that guy on the end. How many of you guys could how many of you guys could be like this guy? How many of you guys how many of you guys could take this woman serious, man? How many of you men feel like you've been the last man in line? Because that's the most debilitating position for a man to be. It's the last man in line. And you got these women out here talking about, what about him? Well, ma'am, it's not the same. Klay Thompson is a man. It's a double standard. Klay Thompson is a hammer. You're the hole. But you got people that tell black men to go back and leave. Leave for what? We're going to leave for damaged goods? We're going to fight a war that's not a just cause? We're going to fight in a gynocratic war where the enemy can destroy us at any time, where there are landfills all over the place. Men fighting in a gynocratic war. All kinds of landfills. You want men to run through landfills and landmines and fight in a gynocratic war when we don't have the tools or the power to overcome stuff. This fight in the name of being black, which is dumb. But guys, don't be this guy. Don't be the last guy standing. And I guess she thought she had her another Russell Wilson simp. And Klay Thompson, no, I can't do that, sweetie. Klay Thompson was in his inner Luther Vandross voice. He said he don't want to be a fool. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. With alien disclosure that's happening, I won't be surprised when these aliens show up, and I think they are gonna show up at some point. Maybe that's when American women will change. When aliens come knocking on the door, because it's all on the news with Trump and with others talking about aliens are here. And many people believe it's demonic. I believe it's demonic. I don't believe it's no extraterrestrial beings. I believe it's demonic, as these entities are trying to deceive people because we're in the final hour. There's a concept called transpermia. Transpermia means that we were seeded, that God didn't create us, that Jesus is not God, that, aliens made us. That's the whole premise. And they're saying that they're here. I'm going to do a show on that at some point. But don't be the last. Don't be this guy, guys. Please don't be the last guy. Don't be the last guy standing, guys. This is the worst thing that can ever happen to a man that's serious about having a woman for his wife.
Watch Dr.
Now, Dr. Ron Taraban is a licensed psychologist, and I'm a licensed therapist. And Dr. Ron Taraban said the disappearance of the gentleman, and this is what happens when you have fancy living and you sleep around with a bunch of men, and then you come back on the back end and expect to be treated like a wife. You can't act like a 304 and then expect to be treated like a lady. It doesn't work that way. Ladies have discipline. Ladies are virgins or have low body counts. Ladies have emotional intelligence. Ladies have emotional regulation. And the sexual revolution destroyed a lot of wholesome women. And you got a bunch of women there on antidepressants, SSRIs, benzodiazepines, Wellbutrin. They got a lot of trauma. They're drinking a bunch of coffee. They're alone because they listen to women like Meg Thee Stallion. And listen, I do these shows, guys, because it's content. I know that most are not going to change. People say, why you do it? They ain't going to change. It's not a point that they're going to change. It's just content for me, man. It's something to do. I enjoy, entertaining serious-minded men and women. But Dr. Ryan Taraban, being a licensed doctor, he sees the same thing that many people see.
Explain in less than 2 minutes why gentlemen are dead and are not coming back. Good guys are gone, and so is romance. Who killed it?
So that's the answer to the question that began this series. Where are all the gentlemen? They disappeared when the lady went extinct. And it wasn't men who killed her. Women have proudly fought.
Yeah, they fought tooth and nail to be liberated. They ran to the Statue of Liberty. They ran to the Statue of Liberty. They wanted to be 304s. They wanted their own money. They said that men were controlling. They ran to the Statue of Liberty. And after they ran to the Statue of Liberty, now they expect, and some of these simps expect men to come back and take one for the team, and to restore balance, and to be community eunuchs. They want black men to be community eunuchs. That's what they want the black men to do. But what many don't understand is that men are calculating, and men are highly rational, and men are highly measured.
Tooth and nail to escape the social restrictions that define that identity over the past 60 years. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that modern women want the best of both worlds. They want the social freedom of the prophet and the respectability of the lady. And that just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
One person can't be both a lady and a prophet at the same time. If these designations are to have any meaning whatsoever, they need to be grounded in objective phenomena.
And that's why I get so sick of folks calling modern women ladies. They're not ladies. They're not ladies. Stop calling these women ladies. Because a lady is not what modern women are. Stop calling these women ladies, because they are not ladies.
And while it's always kind of easy for a lady to become a prostitute, it's very, very difficult for a prostitute to become a lady. It is possible, like the Empress Wu, who started out as a concubine in Chinese history, but it is much more difficult than the opposite. So let's be real. The standard template for a woman's behavior in the sexual marketplace today is to engage.
And he's right. A lady can become a 304, but a 304 can never be a lady. Back in the day, women were ladies. Women were ladies back in the day. They were chaste. They were feminine. They were God-fearing. They valued their body. They valued men. They valued family. That's why men romanced and courted women, because they had something they were proud of. But you think a man gonna work hard and be an NBA player, and he's gonna wife up a woman that's been ran through? That's why so many women lie about it, because they know that if a man ever finds the truth, he's gonna either leave him or cheat on him, or divorce him. And it's not even cheating if they lied. And so many women struggle with that. Masculine men don't like women like Meg Thee Stallion.
In casual sex without commitment through their 20s and then settle down into marriage around 30. That is, they want to enjoy the social freedom of a prostitute for 10 to 15 years, and then they want the respectability of a lady for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that doesn't make sense to men.
And that's why so many men are indifferent, don't care, and just focusing on themselves. Because most men understand fundamentally that it's going to be hard to find a quality woman in this day and age now. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they're hard to find. Let me show you guys something. We're going to get more into this this hold the clay the hold the clay pipeline. Hold on. But we talk about double standards. I'm gonna show this woman again tomorrow. But we talk about double standards. But who holds a woman like this accountable? I don't know if y'all can see it or not. But who holds a woman like this accountable? Well, we talk about double standards, but we got women that disrespect men, hit men, and nothing happens to them. But you got women all on the internet talking about double standards. This whole booger wolf right here. but they want black men to go back and talk about lead by example. They want black men to put their lives on the line for women that don't have emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, or respect for authority. If you can't respect the law of the land, you definitely ain't gonna respect the black men in the black community. Look at her, guys. Look how valiant she is, guys. Look how masculine she is. Look how masculine and disrespectful she is to this man. They love women like her and Meg Thee Stallion, rebellious and 304s, rebellious 304s. Look at her. They love women like this. But they say come back and save a community where most of the community is women like this. They want you to come back and fight for women like this. Imagine, I call it gynocratic landmines. You can't have a strong, vibrant community if there's not structure and order and everybody understands their assignment. If you fight a war where the rules are not clear and the men are not equipped, because I said before in the past that you have defective women and compromised men. Defective women that are rebellious, liberal, ran through, daddy issues, challenge authority. You got men that have been indoctrinated by liberalism, weak, can't think, don't know how to lead. So when you got defective women and compromised men, you can't build strong communities and structures from that. If you're going to be a leader, you got to have people that are willing to follow. But you can't follow if you're rebellious and people can use the system against you to oppress you. Double standard. That would never been a man fighting with the cops. A woman that rebellious and rambunctious, that cop should have took her to the ground. He should have slammed her to the ground. Because she's acting extremely masculine right now. She don't respect the female cop that's standing beside her. But they want you to come back. They want you to take it for the team for a woman like that. And so let me show you guys something. Because many said that Megan leveled Clay up, but no, Megan didn't level Clay up. Clay was the man before Megan. And here are the relationships of Klay Thompson before he got with Meg Thee Stallion. All the women he's had, I guess, confirmed relationships with, all beautiful women. Hannah Stocking, Laura Harrier. These are all beautiful women. And listen, I'm not here to glamorize fornication. I'm just trying to add nuance to the conversation. But as you can see, all these women got natural hair. Megan don't have natural hair. Megan got somebody else's hair on her head. Megan, Megan got somebody else's hair on her head, as you guys can see. Megan got somebody else's hair on her head. She got real horse hair on her head. Katie Austin. These are all women, but all with natural hair, all except Megan. But somehow Megan leveled up. Somehow Megan leveled up Klay Thompson, man. Make it make sense. See, they thought that Megan was going to be able to get her another Russell Wilson. They thought that Megan was going to go do the whole to Jesus pipeline and find her a quality man. You hear anybody using that term, holy Jesus pipeline? Know they got it from me. That's what they thought. And she said that Klay Thompson was a good guy. But Klay Thompson ain't no sucker, though. Klay Thompson is 6'7", NBA All-Star. Klay Thompson is not a sucker. And she thought she was going to have all her fun talking about WAP, being vulgar. And that a man of Klay Thompson essence was going to settle with her and make her special. And like I said, the allegation is that she won a $600 $700 allowance. And you can see he is not bothered. he is not bothered. I don't blame Klay. I would have never married that woman. He is not bothered. Some of these women gonna understand that when you're dealing with top tier men that are athletes, you don't get to dictate the rules of the relationship. You play your position. I'm not saying the man allegedly cheat on her, but he's a multimillionaire, man. He's 6'7", and Megan, you're cute, but you ain't no 5-star chick. You got other women hair on your head. You got probably horse hair on your head, or some hair from India. And Klay Thompson ain't tripping on that. And then on top of that too, you had a innocent man put in jail. Right. She called herself a 304. She acted like a 304, and she had vulgar lyrics. but they get it mad. they get it mad. they get it mad. It's hilarious, man. It's really sad. This is how crazy the world is, guys. Not in your favor, right? hold tight, guys. Oh, I thought we were on something totally different. Hold tight. Well, Bryce, listen, yeah, my room is not soundproof. This, this, um, this mic of mine is a Rodecaster Pro. So, it's just as good as a Shure. It's a almost a $250 mic. I just got to figure out how to get the sound right, but it's very expensive. So it's up there with the Shure, man. So um, maybe another camera would, but I ain't tripping on that right now. I got to start making some real money before I do all that. Well, I mean, I do make good money, but hold tight.
Meg Thee Stallion, the odds were not in your favor. Let me explain. Yvette Preto and Michael Jordan, Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry, Magic and Cookie Johnson, and LeBron and Savannah James. What do these individuals all have in common? These basketball wives married their husbands before they were famous, before the peak of their careers.
Well, that ain't necessarily true. I mean, Michael Jordan was married to another woman. So Michael Jordan was already at the peak of his career. Maybe LeBron James, that's different, but not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was married to somebody else before he married Yvette.
Or after they retired. It's very simple. Meg Thee Stallion, you are not an exception to the rule. I don't care if you call yourself Tina Snow, WAP, the hottie, the stallion, whatever you call yourself, you're going to be calling yourself single again. Now, I'm not blaming you for wanting to be married. I'm not blaming you for trying to marry up. But the reality is the odds were not in your favor. It is extremely rare that a man will give up optionality with other women. This man, Klay Thompson, and I don't even watch basketball, and Klay Thompson, everybody knows Klay Thompson, is one of the most talented players. He's in the peak of his career. He's making over $100 million. He's very famous. He's extremely tall. He has the looks. He's not going to get married. He's not going to get married right now. That's the reality. And so, unfortunately, you drank the Kool-Aid a little bit.
But you had these bird brains saying that she leveled him up.
And now you're hurt. You're upset. I get it. I totally understand. But when you're dealing with men like this, these men are going to either take their time to make a decision. So it could be years before this man says, hey, I actually get married. Or they're going to have a change of heart. It's very simple. So the odds were not in Meg Thee Stallion's favor. And there's so many other examples I could have used for basketball couples. But as you see, that's the reality of the game. It's your boy Jaja Kobina.
Yes, it's the reality of the game, man.
Preto and Michael Jordan.
It is
Meg Thee Stallion, Ayesha Curry and Steph.
It is the reality of the game. It is what it is. But some of the chicks would get mad. They were getting mad. Not understanding. Now listen to what this bird brain said. Hold on a minute. That he made her that she made Clay a global star. That's the illusion, man. All right, so let me show you guys something. Because of course there was a lot of anger and consternation. And guys, forgive the language. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna play this because the language might be too terse.
TikTok is divided between black women and men. Stephen A. Smith made a comment about this, about Megan, and so did Cameron and Mace.
Niggas be like, yo, Klay Thompson fumbled Meg Thee Stallion, and then we got to sit here and fake be careful with our words so that niggas don't feel offended. You rap about being a hoe. Mad rappers fuck you, and then Klay Thompson fumble. But we got to be politically correct. The status say, no, I don't think so. This is one of the things. I don't know what you rapping. The name of my song is called Wet Ass Pussy, right? Then she promotes having wet ass pussy and fucks mad other rappers, and then get with a nigga he don't want to be monogamous and he fumble. What's the thinking? I don't know the thinking.
And she said he's supposed to settle down. How's he gonna settle down if she preaching? I just feel
Y'all forget the language, man. I'm trying to add clarity to the conversation, but of course the women got upset. They didn't like what he said, but hold
You
tight.
wanted to be part of. You didn't have to date the girl.
And don't be mad when I decide to leave.
These rappers need to stop. These are the same rappers that when they get brought up and indicted on charges, they don't want us to take their lyrics to mean what they really live, right? These are the same people that defend other rappers when they get into trouble. We're supposed to ignore their lyrics. So if you want to go by that standard, then you too should ignore the lyrics of a woman that talks about sexual liberation. I don't know if she says she's a hoe. She's kind of like, I cut them off if they, when they act in a way, I get mine. We know of 9 people that Megan had been with, okay? 9 people. As a 31-year-old, very famous, wealthy entertainer. A lot of these guys' mothers ran through way more than this.
Now she deflected. We're not talking about those guys' mother. The 9 is what we know about, but of course we know it's a lot more than 9. But they're deflecting. They take men talking point, talking about men being ran through. And they get triggered because they know what men are saying is true. And what they don't understand is that men are not marrying their moms. So what if their moms are ran through? What's your point? Men are not marrying their moms. They're not marrying their moms. I mean, it's so silly when they make those comparisons.
You want to be real? Think about all the songs. Shirley, what is it? Shirley,
This is Barbara. Shirley, this is
Barbara. Your mom were not virgins when they got pregnant with you. And I just want them to be careful how they're labeling this woman, like, because she's like, so when a woman like owns her sexuality and is boldly talks about her sex, they automatically think that they can devalue said woman based on that. Meanwhile,
No, ma'am, they didn't devalue her. She devalued herself. And your example is a false equivocation because it doesn't matter if their mothers were virgins or not. Men are not marrying their moms. That's why I don't know why women keep making these stupid conversations about their mothers were not virgins. I mean, their mothers might not were virgins, but their mothers weren't ran through like a lot of these women are now. And if they were, I don't think it's to the level that it is now.
I can probably bet my house Cameron, Mace, all these men have hundreds of more lovers than this, right? But we're not supposed to throw them away. Yes.
False equivocation, double standard, false equivocation. You're not a man. You're not. Men are the ones doing the entering, dear. Men are the ones doing the entering. Just like men cannot be entered. Those same women on this panel will never deal with this man right here. This alphabet, because he's been entered. He can be ran through, but a man can't be ran through because he's doing the work. And what she don't understand is that most women don't care about men most women that have a high tier of men don't care about that man being with multiple women. But what it is deflection. The ego is wounded because she's probably been ran through herself.
It's a double standard. I get it. But they have charges. They've had other allegations against them. And somehow black women still find a way.
It doesn't matter, man. We're not the same. Get over it. We're not the same. Men and women are not the same. There are things that women can get away with, like I showed you guys a few minutes ago. And there are things that men can get away with. But in modern America, women get away with a lot more than men. Men cannot be bisexual, but women can.
To give them grace and to be able to go to bat for them. And it just seems like all a woman has to do is be known to have been with more than 2 men, right? Mm-hmm. Or be very embracing of their sexuality, and they are worth
most women have been with more than 2 men. Most guys are understandable if a woman been with under 5 or under 7 or something like that. Most guys are open to that. But you think you can embrace your sexuality, which is your right to do that, and then turn back around and determine the dictates of how men treat you and how men see you as being valuable. That's like a bum asking a wholesome woman to see him as a leader. If he's a bum, he's lazy, he don't want to work, and he's not a visionary. Or a man that's been with another man in the past. He said, well, my manhood is not worth me sleeping with another man. That man is not going to get a pass.
Discarding. And I just want to see black men get more to a point where they're being more protective over women. And the same thing y'all want from us, sometimes the only thing y'all want from us when we give it to you, now.
Ma'am, you got to be protective of yourself. Most of you ran to be liberated. Now you're talking about, why would a man protect somebody when your grandmothers weren't protected? How is it that your grandmothers knew more about being honorable women and being wholesome women and being respectful women, but somehow women of this generation don't know what women that had a third grade education or a fifth grade education had? And we understand what it was for the most part. They were more God-fearing, and there was a social stigma, and women were held accountable, and there was shame. There's no shame, neither is a social stigma. And so I don't feel sorry for this woman. She deserved what she got. Don't feel sorry for it at all.
We ain't worth a damn. We ain't worth shit. And I think that's a problem.
All right, Raindrops, if you want to watch more of that video.
And of course, they're going to have an alphabet representing them. Let's look at my man, Media
Where
Man.
he was wrong is that he sold monogamy. Where he was wrong is that he sold monogamy to Meg Thee Stallion. And of course, Meg Thee Stallion is not going to go for that. Because how would she be able to face her followers?
It's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me? If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
Well, we
if
know
two
that you pushed
people-
monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married.
And what they don't, that's why men now don't want to, I know men are in relationships where they feel like they can't have intimacy with their wife. Or they got to jump through hoops to get something that they thought they would have total exclusivity for.
Married to me?
It was just announced that Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson actually broke up. Granted, I'm not a gossip page, tend to stay out of what celebrities got going on. However, for today in this live stream, it definitely matters. She said, cheating had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous. And she put that in quotations. B, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. And then she followed up and she said, I've made the decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. And when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with peace and clarity. And by all means, she's able to do that. But I think I discussed this beforehand. And, I seen a lot of women championing this relationship. And I think I'm on record. And my friend Carter, he was like, man, you called this. And sometimes you just know. I think Meg is, she seems like she's a good woman. She know how to cook. She was cooking for Klay, cooking for the family. Klay seemed like he was in love. They was doing birthdays together, all types of things. But at the end of the day, she's an entertainer with the past, and Klay Thompson is a professional athlete with his own past, right? So sometimes these relationship dynamics don't tend to work out. Now, and I know it's a little bit unclear if she caught Klay cheating or if he presented the idea that I like you, I may even love you, but I don't think that I could be monogamous to you. And I'm just assuming here, I think that's what he presented to Meg. And it was after the fact. So let me discuss Klay first. And I'm going to speak to, I'm talking to the women here. And I'm also talking to the men. So on Klay's side, where he was wrong is that he sold monogamy to Meg Thee Stallion. And when you're a man, man of means, and you have all of these options, I think it's safe to say that you can afford to tell this woman up front that, hey, I like you. I may even grow to love you. But I know myself. I cannot be monogamous. I'm not going to be monogamous in a relationship. That way, he doesn't sell monogamy to her. So I think Klay Thompson sold monogamy to Meg Thee Stallion. And then when he figured out I can't do this, he presented the idea like, hey, I still want to be with you, but I'm not going to be able to just see you. I want to be able to sleep with other women. And of course, Meg Thee Stallion is not going to go for that, because how would she be able to face her followers? And
it's so sad, guys, that we live in a very debaucherous culture now. Anything goes. Decency is thrown out of the window. And what we had before in the past no longer exists. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to say the least. Because there was a time where there was decency. There was a time where there was decency, but not anymore.
If her followers saw Klay Thompson in the back of a restaurant kissing some random woman, and then people take pictures of that, they post it on social media, and she has to come to the internet to her followers, primarily women, and say, hey, me and Klay Thompson are together, but he told me that he is not going to be monogamous. So I already knew about this. She can't do that. For one, she's too accomplished. And I'll give her credit for that. Meg Thee Stallion is a very accomplished young woman. She opened up restaurants. She got so many ventures. She in movies. She acting. So she cannot take a back seat to some random whip wop, you know what I'm saying, that Klay is, sneaking off with. Okay? So that was never going to happen. And I'm going to give the women a little bit of insight on this as well. Sometimes men will take the brunt of the relationship ending because they understand that women tend to take relationships breakups easier when it's a man's fault. So this may have been a way for Klay to get out of the relationship by saying, hey, I'm not going to be monogamous to you. So what are you going to do with this information? Meg turned it down, and now we're here. So Klay can do whatever the hell he wants. He got out of the relationship. He's going to take the heat from the women on social media, and trust me, it's already going on. But you know what? None of this shit is going to stop Klay Thompson from getting another woman at all. Even the women who are upset, they would take Meg Thee Stallion's place immediately. And also, none of this will stop Meg from getting another man. So at the end of the day, both win. But if I have any message to men, men of means, right? And you operate with this notion that, yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can sleep with whoever I want. But if I want a girlfriend, I'm going to just tell her. My advice to you is to tell her up front. You can do that. Because like Lil Duval said, there's always a woman who will. All right. So if you are scared to tell a woman, hey, I can't be, just with one woman, but I still want to be with you, then don't be with that woman. And that's where Klay Thompson failed. Okay, in my opinion, and this is all based off assumptions. Okay, so Meg Thee Stallion went, public. She put it on her story. Everybody got wind of it. So she's not the problem. They saw her cooking. She did everything she was supposed to do as a doting girlfriend. Klay Thompson messed up. So now he can go off into the sunset, do what he needs to do, and she can still be viewed as the perfect woman. So everybody wins. Make sense? Because I promise you, a lot of women are driven by their social media followings. And I'm going to say this again. Meg Thee Stallion cannot take a back seat to some woman who they consider less than. All right? She feels that she is owed monogamy because of her status, because of her position, because of her money.
A woman's social status has nothing to do with her sexual market. Women keep selling men. I'm famous. I'm rich. I got money. And masculine men don't care about that. I don't know why women keep selling social market to masculine men. They don't care. And I think the sooner women understand that, the better things will be. They don't care. They don't care about your social market value. You're a millionaire. You got money. You got looks. I mean, not looks, but they care about your sexual market value. Can I take you home to mom? Can I take you serious with my wife? Do you have something special outside of other women? They don't care. And I don't know. Becomes a very circular conversation.
But what women fail to understand until it's too late is that when you're dealing with athletes who have all these women throwing themselves at that guy, it's going to be very tough for him to not, sneak off a little bit. And I know it's easy for a guy who doesn't have options to say, oh yeah, baby, I can be faithful to you. But Meg don't want that guy. She wants a high status guy. You can see by her track record. I think she was with Partisan Fontaine prior to this. He's a rapper, may not make as much money as her, but women like him. Women like Klay Thompson. So Meg Thee Stallion is not going to get a regular guy. If you're a man of means and you feel that you can't be faithful, you need to tell that woman up front instead of selling her monogamy. Klay was wrong in that. And assumptions. I'm not, based off of what she said, I don't think she caught him, in the act, pumping and grinding. You know what I'm saying? He probably told her, it's like, hey, look, I thought I could do it. I can't. It is what it is. And I want to give Patrice O'Neal some credit here. He was the first one to say this that I heard. He was explaining monogamy to women when you're in a relationship or a marriage. He said being faithful is a commitment to ourselves as men. It's a commitment to ourselves to where we have to prove to ourselves that we're not a piece of shit, that we can commit to one woman because we love this one woman so much. We don't want to hurt you.
Being good to a woman for us is a commitment to ourselves.
Okay.
It's a commitment to the fact that we go, this is what they want, and this is what they think is the right thing to do. And we're decent people. We go, you know what? She's right. Let me stop trying to everything that moves. It's probably some weird, it's probably some weird compensation for something. And I go, let me be good to this girl. I'm not going to get better. I might be able to get better, good looking, or I might be able to get better decent, but not together with her.
So when you have that mindset, it's like, yeah, I may want to sneak in with other women, but I love this woman so much, I don't want to hurt her. So that's what's going to stop me from sneaking off with some other chick, because I know if my lady found out, my wife, my girlfriend found out, she's going to be hurt. Women, I don't try to convince women that this is what it is, but it's what it is. Okay? For the most part, for most men, it is a struggle. Just because you get married, that doesn't mean that you don't have eyes. And the same thing goes for women. And I say that what Patrice O'Neal said, it's actually true. It's a commitment to ourselves. All right? Because and I remember I had a conversation with one of my friends, and she thought that when a man got married, that means that he doesn't want to have sex with other women anymore. No, mums. No. Okay? It's a commitment to himself. And just like you have a commitment to yourself and to your husband, he has a commitment to you and his wife or his girlfriend. Because, in social media's eyes, it looked like Meg and Klay were on the way to marriage. But I called it. I was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. But I will say this. It did seem like, Meg was trying her best to lock this one down. But unfortunately, Klay Thompson is still an athlete, one of the best shooters that the NBA has ever seen, but he ran off. Okay, she'll bounce back. She'll be fine. She has a whole tribe of women that's going to trauma bond with her, and that's going to make her fan base even stronger.
Yeah, well, in theory, she'll be back, but you can't keep doing things that go against nature and go against your body and think you're going to bounce back in a healthy way. Being promiscuous is not healthy. Men shouldn't be promiscuous either, but it don't hurt men like it hurt women. And she's going to learn the hard way. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. I got a show coming up tomorrow. Thank you guys for the 40 that got up to about 45 today. I appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm going to end it here. I got things to do. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you to everybody that donated, Quiet Storm, Ray Johnson, and everybody else that donated on tonight. I really appreciate Cliff, the gadget guy, and everybody else that donated. I really appreciate you guys coming through. John Smith, thank you to everybody that donated. Guys, we're going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. But she had her fun and got mad when men said this, and it's a circular conversation. Some will get it and some won't. And listen, guys, we know that most are not going to change. I just do these shows because it's a trending topic. And I like to add my little spin to it, but by and far that most are not going to change, and it's okay. I don't do these shows with the expectation that many will change, because I know they're not going to change. I know they're not going to change. It is conversations for me for right now. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. We got a good show coming up tomorrow, hopefully with Mamiya, I believe, my man, A Peaceful Life. And we're going to talk about why voluntary servitude never works unless men demand something else in response. So we're going to end it here, guys. Thank you all for tapping in. And I will see you guys soon. And I hope you guys have a good night and a good rest of your week. Take care. Fire! The Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole